Now, Raising Cane's presents the student section on ESPN Honolulu. Brought to you by HCAMP, the Hawaii Concussion Awareness Management Program, and HawaiiUSA Federal Credit Union.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new edition of the student section on ESPN Honolulu. We are live here on location at Raising Cane's in Hawaii Kai. I'm Cole Mausolf, and I'm joined by my co-host, Kallin Spiller. Kallin, it's good to be back with you. How are you doing?
I'm excited to be here in Hawaii Kai, Cole. Thanks for having me.
This is the third episode of the student section, and Kallin, we got a great show here tonight. If you are tuning into the show on ESPN Honolulu and are in the area, come on down to Raising Cane's in Hawaii Kai, as we do have some special guests joining us in the house tonight. UH softball players Milan Ah Yat and Maycen Gibbs will be joining Kallin and I later on in the show. But joining us right now, we have two of the very best from Rainbow Wahine basketball, Jade Peacock and Ritorya Tamilo, joining us here tonight. Jade, Ritorya, appreciate you both coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
I want to get right into it and start off with where you guys are right now to begin the season at 3-1. Coming off of 3 straight victories. Jade, for you, where do you feel like the team is at 4 games into the season?
I think we're in a really good place. I think that loss in Portland really helped us, I think, in the end. And we really came back together, regrouped, and had a really strong performances on the road with Portland State. And then to have 2 home games was really nice to be back in the stand.
And especially with those 2 home games, that was the Rainbow Wahine's first tournament victory of those tournaments that they host since 2017, long before I even joined the team. So what does that mean to you, Tori, in seeing that progress and being a part of it in your first year here?
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, seeing how hard the team has worked, in these past years. And so for us to finally be able to do it, it was just really exciting to see, yeah.
And just from the first 4 games of the season, you can tell how deep and talented this team really is. Oftentimes playing 4, 5, 6, 7 players off the bench and playing significant minutes. Ritorya, explain the amount of talent and depth that you guys have on the roster this season.
Yeah, it's really special, especially for me as a freshman coming in and having great leaders to look up to. The sisters and Deja and Kelsey, it's really cool. And so, just a lot to learn from them and really excited.
And again, we can't forget about this upcoming weekend. It's a tough stretch no matter what. You have 3 games in 3 days for this Thanksgiving tournament. And not to mention, you're now playing the #1 seeded team in the country in UCLA, who downed South Carolina this weekend. How are you feeling about that challenge that's coming up?
I think as a team, we're all very excited. I think we have to see it as a challenge and its growth. And how often do you get to say you played the #1 team in your home ground in the stand? So we're hoping for a really good turnout, and we have 2 other really good games in Fresno State and UT Martin that I know we're all looking forward to. And who's to say that we can't win another championship and another tournament back at home, which I know is what we all want to do.
Ritorya, for you, your approach, getting to play Fresno State and then getting to play the #1 team in the nation, UCLA, on Sunday.
Yeah, I think it'll just be a lot of, like Jade said, a lot of growth. I know we're looking forward to it. Again, like Jay said, it's not every day that you can say you've played will play the #1 team in the whole D1, So, we're just really looking forward to that.
Cole Mausolf, Kallin Spiller, here on the student section with Rainbow Wahine basketball players Ritorya Tamilo and Jade Peacock. Kallin, I want to direct this question to you now. Since you do the color commentary for the Rainbow Wahine basketball team on our station, ESPN Honolulu, you watched the team the first 4 games of the season. How do you think this team has progressed from game 1, University of Portland, to now? And what is your overall outlook of this team this season?
First of all, it's been so much fun. So I've gotten to play with a lot of the players who are on the roster this year. Jade and Tori are 2 that I didn't get the honor of playing with, but are 2 amazing additions. And that's what I think is really special about this team. There's a solid group of returners, and there's an incredible group of newcomers and younger players on the roster too. But that game at Portland was tough. Credit to Portland. I think they have a really unique offensive style. They're a team that you don't play similar teams that often. They're very unique. But the glimmer of hope from that game, you guys didn't give up. You were down pretty early, but continued to fight back to close that gap. And that was when I knew this team was going to be special, because you could have rolled over, you could have let it go, but every single player who stepped on the court continued to make efforts to close that gap. And then this weekend, I was so impressed with how consistent the play was. Even when players came in off the bench, there was a high level of play, and it didn't feel like it dropped at any point. And you had pretty commanding leads that you held on to the whole time. So, in my opinion, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx anything, but this team is better than my two teams I played on. I'm so excited for this season and cannot wait to see what you guys achieve.
Yeah, and you alluded to the expectations from this team being so high. And from the outside, from a media perspective, Hawaii was picked to finish first in the Big West this season. As a team, Jade, do you hear all that outside noise and feel the pressure, or do you use it as motivation during the season?
I think it's definitely nice to be predicted to be number one, but regardless of what that media said, we always felt as though we deserved that number one, and that just is a testament to the expectations we have as a team and how talented we all know we are, how we've been in this position before, the seniors that we have coming up. Like, we know that we are good enough to be in that number one spot, and that's just ourselves having an expectation of that, and that's, you know, the high quality of trainings and the practices and how hard we make our schedule, and like we know what we're prepping for is for that Big West Championship and for that number one spot.
Well, I think you guys are really well set to do well in the Big West. Having 8 seniors on the roster this year, you are one of the few underclassmen that does contribute to the team this season. What has playing with all the experience, the senior-led experience on this team, done for your game, and how do you think you fit in? What role do you play this season, your second season with the program?
I mean, coming off my freshman season was so much learning and practicing and doing the individual workouts, learning from people like Melanie, who is in my position. She's an amazing leader, and like coming next year when we lose 8 seniors and I'm one of the upperclassmen, which is such a crazy thing to think about considering that I've been an underclassman for a while now. We've had this great group of leaders. It's now, how do I replicate that, but in my own way of being a leader and forging that path for myself and for the team next year. You know, we'll have a lot of spots to fill, but I don't think that drop of level or quality is going to happen, you know, with that 8 seniors. But my role has been a lot of learning and building for that, I think, especially. And this year I'm just, you know, I'm a lot more confident than I was last year, scoring, defense, everything. Like, I'm so much more prepared. So I think definitely having a role player position as well as coming off the bench and contributing and playing my style of play, I think, is how I'm, you know, planning to go about this year.
You can definitely see that confidence boost from you. You had some awesome moments your freshman year too, coming in as a spark of energy, which I always love to see. But that freshman year is hard no matter how you slice it. And walking through that right now is Ritorya Tamilo. But you've done a great job cracking into that starting lineup, having 3 double-digit scoring performances in your first 3 Division I games. Talk to me a little bit about how you've been approaching this first year, maybe some of the challenges, but also how you've been able to overcome those.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've definitely come in. I mean, it's always hard being a freshman. You know, you're going to have challenges. Everyone is. But I think just being around, having such a welcoming team and coaching staff as well has really helped me. And especially, I mean, I'm learning things every training, like from the returners, from the coaches, from everyone. And so, yeah, it's definitely been cool to see that and really enjoy the support around me, yeah.
Ritorya, I wanted to build off of that. In high school, you've averaged 24, 18, 6, and 4 last season in prep ball. Coming into the season, you're already averaging double figures in points. Did you expect to have this immediate of an impact on this team in your freshman season?
I wouldn't say I expected it, but I mean, I definitely, having international experience, I'd say has definitely kind of helped me, you know, be college ready and, you know, for the physicality and the speed. And so I'd say, you know, big props to that for, you know, helping me.
Cole Mausolf, Kallin Spiller, here on the student section at Raising Cane's in Hawaii Kai with Rainbow Wahine basketball players Ritorya Tamilo and Jade Peacock. Including the upcoming class in 2025, UH has signed 9 players either from Australia or New Zealand in the past 3 seasons, with 4 newcomers next season joining the 5 on the roster already. Talk to me about that connection Hawaii has down under, Jade.
I think I know Coach Beeman and Coach Alex have definitely put an emphasis in Australia and New Zealand, and they see how well we've been doing over here, how well our adjustment has been. I know there's always going to be homesickness and all of that stuff, but it just makes the homesickness a lot easier when it is only 9 hours away and when Hawaii is such a family orientated, so like, you know, Ohana like type of community, so making that adjustment is so much easier. And I know I do a lot of the recruiting stuff, so they always get me talking to the Australian girls, and I just think it's such a different community, and I know they love it here, and seeing how much I love it, you know, it's easier for them to want to come here than other places on the mainland.
Like you said, it's only 9 hours away. We actually have Jade's mom here at Raising Canes, visiting from Australia for the games these weeks. But I think that probably is a unique advantage, as it is the closest NCAA Division I school to Down Under. And how does that kind of make you feel? Like, Ritorya, if you're thinking about players coming in next year, what would you tell them kind of as words of encouragement, or what are the things that they need to know when they're coming to UH and maybe being that far from home but closer than if you play anywhere else in the country?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like Jade said, it's really family oriented. So, you know, when I came here, I really felt like I was at home. Everyone just makes you feel welcome. I definitely didn't expect the local slang coming in here. That's something I had to adjust to, but yeah, I mean, it's really a good environment to be around. The weather is a bonus always. Yep. So yeah, I'd say that.
Ritorya, how did you find out about the University of Hawaii and end up committing to this program?
Right. Well, Coach Alex actually came to New Zealand. He was at my school nationals, and so he was doing some scouting over there. It was funny. He told me, I don't know, I think I might have been walking down a corridor or something, and he like turns his head and he was like, "Who was that?" And so I mean, being 6'5", obviously I'm standing out, but yeah, that's how it came about. And then we had chatted from there, and yeah, got to know the coaching staff a bit better, and had to come on a visit, and so I really enjoyed that, and that's how I committed.
Jade, you said you do some of the recruiting in Australia now. How did you get recruited to the University of Hawaii?
I had a national tournament that Alex happened to be attending. I wasn't really looking for any college, or I was just playing my tournament, and I somehow got into contact. And I remember my mom showing me the email, and it was Alex saying, "Oh my God, we love Jade Peacock. Like, I would love to speak to her." Wow. And she just started crying, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, because for me, Hawaii was such a dream school. I have always lived by the ocean, and that was just something that I was like, I couldn't imagine living in the Midwest. It's just like such a crazy thought for me. So seeing that, I kind of, from that email on and speaking to Alex, I just knew this is where I belonged. And speaking to Coach Beeman, it just felt like the most easiest yes I've ever said. So, and I have absolutely no regrets. I love it here, and I can't wait to continue my 4 years here.
It's awesome. And I think it is such a special place. It's so unique, and especially when it feels like home to an extent, makes it an easy decision. But were there any specific changes in the game from playing in Australia or New Zealand, just in terms of, I know the court's a little different. What were some of the biggest changes that you had to adapt to?
I'd definitely say the change from FIBA rules.
Yes, the FIBA rules is huge with the you're able to throw it in the backcourt, and players can call a timeout. So any end of game situations I need to lessen up on, because do not trust me with that.
And there's a 30-second shot clock here. Back home we only have a 24-second
yes,
shot
and you
clock.
have 10 seconds to get it up the front court, not 8. So I'm like, oh, we actually have time to chill. Like, we can just dribble this up,
You're rushing it, and the coach is like, slow down, you got time.
Before we go to break, I do want to touch on Coach Beeman a little bit, because she's so instrumental for this program, to this program. What has your relationship been with Coach Beeman, and what has she meant to you guys both as a player and as an individual? Ritorya first.
Yeah, Coach B has been amazing. I love her so much. She has helped me grow my game, but, you know, again, not only in the basketball side, but she's helped me with my confidence as well. And she's, you know, wanted me to get out there more. And so that's helped me a lot. I learn everything. I mean, I learn a lot of things from her. So yeah, she's just been really helpful and helping me settle here. Yeah.
Jade, for you.
I think especially she helped me a lot in my first year, just because, you know, I had to play a little bit of the floor in positions I wasn't comfortable in, and just knowing she had that trust in me and had such a strong faith for me to go in the court and to do what I do, and she never once doubted me as a player or my capabilities is just such a huge thing for me. And now the second year transitioning into, you know, like, I know these plays and I know how to do all of this stuff, and now I'm helping, like, not necessarily Tori, but like some of the other younger girls that are also international, so she's been really pushing me to take on that mentorship role, and she's just been such an amazing mentor. Like, I know her biggest thing is that she has an open door policy, and just knowing that you can go to her and speak to her about anything, and that she genuinely cares about you on the court and off the court as a person is just the biggest thing you could ask for from a head coach.
Look, we are coming up on our first time out of the show, but before we do, at HawaiiUSA Federal Credit Union, helping you reach your goals and dreams of financial wellness is their commitment. Learn more and become a member today by visiting any of their conveniently located branches or online at HawaiiUSAFCU.com. HawaiiUSA, life matters. When we come back from break, we'll introduce a segment that we like to call Tier Talk. We'll get into that and more. You're listening to the student section on ESPN Honolulu. Welcome back to the student section live here at Raising Cane's in Hawaii Kai. Cole Mausolf with Kallin Spiller, and we are joined by UH women's basketball players Jade Peacock and Ritorya Tamilo. So to start off this portion of the show, we'll be getting into our Tier Talk segment. Since we are in the midst of the holiday season, we are going to do a tier ranking of our favorite holidays, from Tier 1 being our favorite holiday down to Tier 2 and to Tier 3. So basically just ranking our favorite holidays throughout the year. And we know that, Jade, you're from Australia, Ritorya, you're from New Zealand. So I thought it'd be interesting to hear how you both celebrate the holidays and what your favorites are. We'll have Kallin start it off to give both of you some time to think about your list. So Kallin, start off the Tier Talk rankings of your favorite holidays.
I'm gonna start low to high, so I'll build up.
Mm-hmm.
I think my Tier 3 would have to be Halloween. We did just have it, so it's fresh in my mind, but I've always loved coming up with a fun costume, going all out with making that costume happen. And then candy, of course, is super fun when you're little. Have to say Halloween would be my Tier 3. Tier 2, I think I'm going to have to go with my birthday. Not everyone celebrates my birthday, obviously, but I think that's what makes it special, where it's kind of your day. And then for me, it was always in basketball season. So my birthday is February 23rd. We actually played a game on my birthday in my last season, which I thought was kind of special, and it's always in the midst of basketball season. So I'm going to have to say my birthday just because it's specifically mine. And then I think my favorite is going to have to be Christmas Eve.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
And not specifically Christmas Day. I feel like Christmas Eve, you're building up the anticipation.
I like that.
My family would always have kind of our parties on Christmas Eve with the traditional, like, we'd have a pineapple juice and punch situation. Even growing up, it was great. So I'd have to say Christmas Eve would probably be my number one. And Christmas is great too, but the anticipation and the holiday feeling really happens on Christmas Eve.
That's a really good take, Kallin. That's a really good take. Ritorya, I'll throw it to you for your tier talk of your favorite holidays. And like Kallin, you can do Tier 3 down to Tier 1.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do Tier 3. Okay. I think my Tier 3 would be Easter.
Oh.
Because
you guys can have the same.
Okay, we're
Jade-
gonna have She's looking at me like she's copying me, but it's fine.
Yeah, Jade is making a face if you're not here.
Okay, my Tier 3 is Easter. I mean, you know, who doesn't love a little chocolate hide and seek thing, you know? My second would be New Year's. Yeah, I mean, we don't really do much for New Year's, but it's a good like barbecue beach day.
Yeah.
And then my first would be Christmas. I mean, I've always wanted to have Christmas in the snow, but you know, in New Zealand, I think it's just unmatched having the sun out and just like, again, another good barbecue beach day. So yeah.
I was going to say us here, well, maybe in Hawaii, but for me being from Seattle, definitely a winter holiday, but obviously the seasons are changed.
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
barbecue beach days for New Year's
Yeah.
Eve and Christmas sounds pretty awesome, which I guess here is also the same, but haven't experienced it yet.
Ritorya, do you guys do a egg hunt for Easter? Is that
Yes,
okay?
egg hunt,
Those are the best, especially when the parents who aren't frugal put some money in it, and like I don't know what you call like the grand Easter egg, but finding that
yes.
it's like $100 bill
Yeah.
instead of the candy or whatever. Oh, that's the best. That's the best. Good tier talk.
Yeah.
Jade, your tier talk of your
Okay,
favorite
I think
holidays.
for my tier 3, I'm gonna go a rogue pick, Boxing Day. So now in
explain.
Australia and Boxing Day, day after Christmas, is when the big sales are on. So everything's like 70% off. You go to the mall, it's a whole big thing. It's either the best day or it's the worst day. You either get everything or you get nothing. So it's a very high risk, high reward. So I think that's my tier 3 just for the risk of it all. Second, I'm then gonna go Easter as well. Again, a very like, if I get all the eggs, like I'm happy, it's the best day ever. It gets violent sometimes, potentially, with all the cousins all fighting for that one big like bunny rabbit chocolate. You know, tears, blood, sweat, everything goes into Easter. I mean, at least in our house with all the cousins. And I was always the youngest one, so you know I never won anything. Then for my first, again, Tori copied me, but I guess I'm copying her. Christmas is my favorite, just because I know it's always a hot day. We go out, we either go to the beach or we just hang by the pool, and we have like the nicest like seafood. I know like in my family, seafood's huge. We have oysters, we cook them up. Like all the cousins are around, and it's just like a nice day to get a tan. We're always there for the longest time. You know, I don't leave my cousin's house until 10 p.m. and I'm like, Mom, like I'm asleep in the car. Like, can we please go? But yeah, that's definitely my tier list.
Can you explain your tier 3 again, or what was the name of it?
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. So Boxing Day is kind of like a Black Friday in the
Yes,
States. It's
very
just like
similar.
all the sales. I guess it makes more sense to have Boxing Day
Yeah.
after Christmas because that's when all the sales
Yes,
are.
but
right?
even like Mum might be cheap, and she's like, you can get it like your Christmas present on Boxing Day, and I was like, what? Like she's like, we'll get you your little special thing because it's 50% off after Christmas, so you just get your present late.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, that was when I was a bit older, you know, when I still had faith in Santa, but Santa just came a little late, she would say.
So it's how, you know, the stores get to extend the money that they
Yes.
make beyond the holiday season. And I believe, which I think Boxing Day is technically a holiday here, it's on our calendars usually, but not as much observed. And it's Boxing Day because you're boxing up all the things from Christmas.
No,
Is that it?
Mum, there
It's
was
real
used to be
boxing.
a boxing match on the day after Christmas ages ago. This is again maybe Mum's era,
Wow.
but not in my future time. But so they just always kept the name as Boxing Day, I guess. She says.
Wow, we always learn something here on the student section. All right, no one wants to hear my tier talk, but I'll go New Year's, tier 3, 4th of July, tier 2. That's like the all-American holiday. And then I think Christmas. You said Christmas Eve, everyone else said Christmas. I think that takes the cake. Receiving gifts when I was young, now kind of like I like gift giving more since I got older, and Mom and Dad don't really give me the gifts anymore. So I think Christmas is the holiday of all holidays, if we can say that. Okay. We have about 4 more minutes left with you guys. Cole Mausolf, Kallin Spiller here at Raising Canes on the student section with Rainbow Wahine basketball players Ritorya Tamilo and Jade Peacock. Okay, before we get you out of here, we're going to do some quick hitters. Okay, so this has to do with outside of basketball, in basketball. We just want to learn a little bit more about you guys. So, favorite memory playing basketball, Jade, go.
My favorite memory, just in general.
Oh, playing basketball.
Oh, basketball. Probably when Alex messaged me and I got to speak to Alex for the first time.
That's awesome.
Okay, Ritorya, who's your funniest teammate?
Oh, funniest team. Jade's looking at me. Oh, I would definitely say Dave's just pretty funny, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. It's a good
Close
pick.
second. It's okay.
Yeah, close second.
If not Jade, you know,
Yeah,
it goes back and forth.
somewhere.
Jade, dream job. When you have to hang it up, you have to hang the shoes up. You're not playing basketball anymore. Maybe WNBA is your dream job. But if not the WNBA, what have you wanted to do since you're a little girl?
Not necessarily since I was a little girl, but I found my passion recently of like going back home. I want to help the Indigenous community back home, so that's a
Wow.
big passion of mine that I'm looking forward to after I'm done my years here at Hawaii.
Exciting.
Okay, Tori, your favorite basketball player, man or woman?
Oh, dear.
Do both. Both.
You can do both.
Both?
More pressure.
Oh, gosh. Okay, this is like a New Zealand player, but I've always looked up to her, and I've played with her recently as well, but Penina Davidson. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Okay, we are at Raising Canes. We talked about what our orders is on our past shows in episode 1 and 2. Do you sub the slaw for extra toast? Do you sub the toast for extra slaw? What is your Canes order, Jade?
Subbing toast for extra slaw has to be a crime. Like, you actually can't walk into another Canes again. It has to be double toast.
I
Has to
don't
be.
get rid of the toast. I just appreciate the coleslaw. I like the balance of all four together. Makes a nice box. That's why it's the box combo. I do not get rid of the toast. That's
I know. I just like
slander.
making fun of you.
And that's why she picked Christmas Eve and the rest of us picked Christmas. I think that sums it up entirely.
Oh.
Has to be different.
Right. I just need the extra right there.
Ritorya, your take on the box combo.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Kallin on this one. I'd say like just have the coleslaw on the bread, and it's just like a nice little box. Like, don't try to be extra.
That's a hot take. I mean, the coleslaw is exceptional here at Raising Canes. Thank you to all the workers here at Raising Canes in Hawaii Kai here today. Kallin?
I'm curious, Tori, or wait, we asked Jade. I guess we asked both of you. Okay, to both of you, who's the toughest player on the team to guard? Which might be different because you're guarding guards and you're guarding posts. Who do you see in that matchup in practice where you're like, oh, it's you again?
You go first, Tori.
I mean, when I have to switch on to Lily, I'm like, oh, here we go. Better not get my ankles crossed up. So I definitely say that's pretty hard guarding Lily. She's pretty crafty and
It's always those shifty guards.
I mean, I guess I'll spin back, and when I get Brooklyn down low and she just pins me, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm done. I was like, you have it. You got me on the switch. Like,
and you guys are roommates. So
we are roommates, yeah. So then she'll talk about it when we walk home. I'm like, it's done. Like, I don't need it rubbed in my face.
Please don't.
Ritorya, I like the dream job question for Jade. I never got to ask you. If your playing career, or when your playing career is over, after you made the WNBA, you won all the championships, what is your dream job?
I'm still not sure with that one, but I'm still finding my interests.
Yep.
But I mean, I really like the idea of helping others or helping people, and so, or even just like a complete opposite from that, just like a clothing business.
Yeah.
Like, I've always, or like for tall people, because I feel like that's such a struggle.
Cool.
Like, I know I struggle finding long pants, so, making clothes for tall people is something.
I'll go in on that with you. I will be the first investor.
I like that too.
Right. Cole needs it too. Jade, you're almost there.
A few inches short.
Just kidding. But I had a question too. What are some hobbies? I know your time is taken up with basketball and school, and just getting through both of those things. But do you have any hobbies that might surprise listeners that they don't get to see quite as much, or that you just personally enjoy?
I like singing. I'm
She's
not
such
gonna
a good
sing
singer.
Yeah, I'd say singing, and I like journaling as well. Just de-stress.
For me, I mean, beach. Obviously, have to like go to the beach after practice. Another hobby. I mean, that's about it.
What's your favorite beach?
Beach, or I really like Waimanalo. I love the Ruka Bowls, the acai bowl, like local there. Like, they know us.
And there's no reef at Waimanalo, so it's all sandy. You don't have to wear your reef walkers and stuff, and it's very non-touristy.
Yes, it's so empty most of the time, and it's just so nice. It is a drive, but I love the drive with the ocean view every time.
I can agree with that. We are coming up on another break, but we appreciate you both taking the time out of your days to come spend time with us. This was so much fun, and best of luck to you both this season.
Thank you.
You just heard from Rainbow Wahine basketball players Jade Peacock and Ritorya Tamilo. Before we take a time out, there's something trending in sports, and it's not on social media. It's student athletes suffering from concussions and not reporting it. By not treating concussion, you can suffer long-term health effects. Find out more from HCAMP, the Hawaii Concussion Awareness Management Program. Visit hawaiiconcussion.com. If you're listening to the show, stick around, as UH softball players Milan Ah Yat and Maycen Gibbs will be joining us on the other side of the break. We are at Raising Canes in Hawaii Kai, and you're listening to the student section on ESPN Honolulu. Welcome back to the student section, live on location here at Raising Canes in Hawaii Kai. Cole Mausolf, Kallin Spiller, now joined by Rainbow Wahine softball players Milan Ah Yat and Maycen Gibbs. Thank you for both joining us the show tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get right into it. You guys just wrapped up the fall preseason classic with a 3-1 record, defeating Fullerton College 11-3 and 13-3, and splitting a pair with Chaminade. It being the first time this group has played with each other in a game like this year, Milan, how do you think the team performed, and what is the overall morale of the team heading into this upcoming season?
Well, I would say that we did like pretty good, but at the same time we did lose to Chaminade. So I think just like everyone gelling and like since there's a bunch of new faces, we just need to like I don't know spend more time with each other and get to know each other better so that we could ultimately like perform better on the field together.
And Maycen, I'm curious. So I played basketball in college at UH. What is it like having that fall season and then you're prepping for the spring season, but kind of having those separate seasons? What's the goal of the fall look like, and how does that shift when you get to spring?
Yeah, the fall is definitely just preparing for the spring, making sure we're really dialed in, taking care of the small things. So, and then like Milan said, we do have a lot of new faces here, so giving us a chance to play together and really get to know one another before we roll into that spring right when we get back after Christmas break.
Maycen, 20 and 26 last season, fourth in the Big West at 13 and 12. Maycen, looking back on last season and seeing what you have now with the roster this year, what can we expect for the Rainbow Wahine this season?
I think we have really high expectations of this year. We did lose a lot of really key players for us last year, but at the same time, we got to learn from them rolling into this year. So we have really high expectations, with the Big West tournament coming up. So that's our big goal with this season.
And Milan, you were a decorated softball player for Pac-5, winning Softball Player of the Year in both 2022 and 2023, and winning a state championship in 2023 too. So reflecting back on your high school career, what were some of your favorite memories, and what does it feel like to be playing for UH after such a storied career here on the island?
I think it's definitely a surreal moment coming back, and we played the state championship on UH's field. So just being able to play on the field again and have those memories and like feelings come into play when I'm on the field. But yeah, it was an amazing like run for us my senior year. And I think my favorite memory is definitely winning the state championship. Yeah.
Maycen, you grew up in California and prepped at Vista del Lago High School.
Yes, yeah.
How did you find your way to the University of Hawaii from California?
So a little bit different from me, kind of the regular recruiting, but I started after high school, so I was a little bit older. Went to a junior college for a couple years, and then started getting recruited by our assistant coach, Coach Lons, and then ended up here 2 years after I graduated from high school from Vista.
And this is your third season with the team. How do you think your game has evolved from your freshman season to now?
Definitely just gaining the knowledge. I've spent now 2 years in this program, so have a better understanding of what's expected, how to go about things, and just how to do things the way that they're wanted to be done. So just trying to continue to work on that, continue to lock that down, and make sure it's always going to go as we want it to.
And then Milan, we have something in common. I actually transferred to UH as well. So I'm a big believer in transferring can really change your life and make a big difference. So what have been some of the major differences in coming back to UH, and kind of talk about that transfer experience?
Well, when I first entered the transfer portal, I was a little nervous because there is a small percentage that don't end up playing again. But I did have a great year at LMU. The experiences are just amazing. And but coming to UH, just these girls, it was so easy to bond with them. And the coaching staff has been nothing but helpful and great. And I'm just really grateful to be in the position I am. And yeah, I'm just really happy here.
You touched on LMU, Milan. Why did you choose to commit to LMU right out of high school? Did you get recruited by Hawaii, or was LMU kind of the first to reach out and you ultimately wanted to end up there?
Okay, so to be honest, UH and LMU recruited me at the same tournament. And it was Coach Toraya Flowers who recruited me and talked to me first, and then Coach Bob talked to me right after, 2 seconds later. But ultimately, I did want to go away for the first year just to experience something new and be on the mainland, and because I've always been here and the island feels so small when you've grown up. So I did want to go away and just experience something else. But yeah, coming back is amazing.
Definitely understand that. I played in my hometown and then went somewhere else, and it was fun to have both of those. And I think having that first year elsewhere kind of makes coming home a little bit more special and adds to the meaning of it. But you did mention Coach Bob, so he's in his 36th season with the program, which is incredible. So kind of to both of you, we'll start with Maycen. Talk about your relationship with your coach and what it's like playing for him.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like, we're all so thankful to be a part of Coach Bob's 36 years, and us being towards the tail end of his career, we've really got to see how much he's built up the program and everything he's put into it, and we're the ones getting all the benefits of it, which we're really thankful for. So it's been awesome to just like hear about his, you go in and talk to him, and he has stories and stories about his 36 years here. So we really want to go out on a high note for him and make this season really special.
Yeah, coming in, Coach Bob is he is just a bright energy source. So you go to him and he'll give you a smile, so hi Milan, and it's just great chemistry between the whole coaching staff. And I think he's just a great coach, and I'm really happy that I'm here and we get to play together for him.
Cole Mausolf and Kallin Spiller here at Raising Cane's in Hawaii Kai on the student section, talking with Rainbow Wahine softball players Milan Ah Yat and Maycen Gibbs. Okay, let's get into your families. You both come from athletic backgrounds. Talk to me about growing up in these athletic households and the person, if any, that got you into sports and ultimately softball. Maycen?
Yeah, so both my parents were very athletic growing up, so it wasn't, it was my choice if I wanted to play sports or not, but it was, I don't have any memories other than being little and playing catch in the backyard with my dad, or going on the weekends. And we've been talking this whole time before about going snowboarding and skiing and those type of activities. So that was definitely my childhood, was all wrapped around being outside, playing sports, which really is what kept me, loving sports and wanted to always keep playing.
Maycen, I got to shout out your parents. Your mom, Nicole, swam at the University of San Diego and San Jose State.
Yes.
Dad, Greg, played baseball at Chico State. Where do you rank on the tier list of best athlete in the family?
Oh, that's a tough one. Okay. I think I still got to put my mom at the top.
Yep.
She was a pretty good swimmer, made Olympic time trials pretty young. Might put myself above Dad. He did play at a little bit smaller school.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll throw myself right there in the middle.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Milan, for you, talk to me about your family's athletic background and how they got you into sports.
Yeah, I would go out with my dad just like Maycen. It was really my dad who pushed me to start off baseball and gradually play volleyball and softball. And so it was mainly him, and he would just tell stories on how his dad taught him and all the lessons he had growing up, and how just being surrounded by cousins, aunties, and uncles who all played, just how that shaped him into the player he was, and how it could shape me into who I am.
And you hear those stories about you both being young, playing catch when you're little. If you could go back and tell that younger version of yourself some advice that would help you get to this point as a collegiate athlete in your careers, what would you go back and tell them, or even other girls at that age?
Do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I think just let it be fun. Keep it fun as long as possible. It will always be fun, as long as it'll work out. And going back and be able to tell myself, if I could say I ended up at UH, I wouldn't believe it. But so just kind of enjoying every step of it, I think.
I was going to say the same thing. Just because growing up, you set goals for yourself in high school, and the whole recruiting process is stressful at times. But I would just say to enjoy the moment and have fun playing the sport you love. And yeah.
And let's talk about the sports you're in. Many athletes, especially on the level you guys compete in, are creature of habits. And many athletes have superstitions. They have pregame rituals. As athletes yourselves, do you have any interesting superstitions or pregame rituals that you guys follow, Maycen?
I think my only one is usually our locker room is stocked with Uncrustables. So that's usually my pregame meal. Little snack right before we head out there. So I think that's probably my only superstition.
I love that.
Yeah, my dad was very superstitious, so I kind of got that from him. I'm not as extreme as him, but I do put my left sock on before I put my right sock on.
That is very superstitious.
Yeah, and then I do just pray before the game. And yeah, that's pretty much my pregame ritual.
I just have to ask, have you ever had a moment where you put the right sock on first?
Oh my
Do you
gosh,
take them
yes.
off?
No, okay, I did, and then it was a time crunch on a travel tournament, and I didn't do good that game, and that was it.
That'll do
So
it
I
for you.
just kept putting the left sock on first.
That'll do it for you. Okay, so you guys obviously both have some years left of college softball, but after your playing days are over, I asked Ritorya and Jade this earlier in the student section show. Have you thought about the next step in your life, and what do you want to do after softball is done, Maycen?
So right now I'm a kinesiology major. So the thought has always been I'm planning on going to PT school after.
Wow.
So yeah, I think for me that'll be the next step after I'm done here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Milan?
I am a sociology major, so just like it's a very broad major, and I'm not sure what direction I want to go with, but there are many like places. I could be a lawyer, I could do a bunch of different stuff, so I'm not really sure yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
That's the fun part. You both have time to keep learning and pinpointing what your future is going to look like, but enjoy the moment, like both of you emphasize. Keep it fun as long as possible. You'll miss college sports once you're done. And I do have to ask, kind of along those same lines, what do you enjoy doing outside of softball? And we asked the basketball players this earlier. Do you have any hobbies that you do to maybe relax off the diamond? And I was going to say court. I'm
Good
so
catch,
used to
good
court.
catch, good catch.
Off the diamond or outside of the classroom.
Definitely, I think as a team we like to go to the beach and hike. Obviously being in Hawaii, it's hard not to take advantage of that. So I think those are two big things we like to do off the field here.
Is Waimanalo one of the beaches, one of your favorite beaches? Have you guys ever
Yes.
went to Waimanalo?
Yes, yeah.
We've been to Waimanalo.
Actually team bonding there. Yeah.
Okay, Waimanalo is a very popular beach on the student section show. Milan, for you?
Yeah, I think when we do have an off day, I do like to play pickleball. Yeah, it's like a hobby I just picked up recently, and I really like pickleball. But when we do go to the beach, we like to play spike ball and throw the football around, just have fun and be competitive all the time.
Yeah.
All right, we do have to take another quick timeout, but before we do, Raising Cane's and the Barefoot League are having another free Keiki Sports Clinic. This time it's for baseball and softball players ages 6 to 13 on December 8th. All experience levels welcome. Accomplished coaches and players will help your kids with everything from throwing to base running to good sportsmanship. Space is limited, so register today at barefootleague.com. When we come back, you'll hear more from Milan Ah Yat and Maycen Gibbs. This is the student section on ESPN Honolulu.
I'm gonna go with stuffing.
Stuffing.
Yeah.
Good one. Good one.
No, you keep going.
Oh,
yeah.
Do we
Keep
go
going.
back and forth?
No, keep going.
Oh, I keep going. Okay, then tier 2, I'm gonna say apple pie, and then with 1, I think I'm gonna go with the staple of turkey.
That's a solid tier ranking.
So then is there anything with the apple pie?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Vanilla ice cream. Yep. Warm apple pie, and then a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. Yeah.
Beautiful. Some people do whipped cream, I think, too, or maybe that's more pumpkin pie, but the apple cinnamon mix, I agree with that.
Kallin, I'm going to turn it over to you for your tier rankings of favorite Thanksgiving foods.
I think number 3 might be pumpkin pie. I didn't like it as much when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten more of a taste for it with whipped cream. Discussing, pie you can't go wrong very commonly. Number 2, I suppose this was a heated debate. Another recent like of mine would have to be deviled eggs, which maybe people don't think. I didn't like it for a long time. I'm getting head shakes from this table. I didn't like it. My husband makes great deviled eggs.
Okay, so shout out to the husband.
Shout out to Kendall. He makes great ones. We'll be making those for Thursday. And then number 1 has got to be rolls, which is crazy.
Dinner rolls?
Just dinner rolls. Or like even the crescent rolls. Those are really good too.
What is the Hawaiian rolls, right?
And King's Hawaiian rolls.
The King's Hawaiian rolls
are great too. You could put turkey with cranberry sauce on those too. Those are good too. So rolls, my family will laugh, but I've loved bread since I was little.
I like that. Milan, your tier ranking of your favorite Thanksgiving foods.
Okay. Number 3, I'm gonna go turkey because it's a staple, but I'm gonna put it at number 3. And then number 2, I'm also gonna put apple pie, but it has to be Hawaiian Pie Company caramel apple. Like it's so specific, but it's the best pie, and I have a scoop of ice cream on it. And then number 1, I think I'll go with green bean casserole or stuffing, but it has to have gravy with it. But yeah,
That's a good tier list. I'm gonna share mine shortly, but I'm afraid that there is like a theme of stuffing and pie and turkey. So I switched my one up a little bit. My tier 3 has to be turkey. If I have to add that to the tier rankings because turkey is a staple, like Milan said. Stuffing is just great. It kind of like when I was younger, I kind of looked away at it because there's too much ingredients in it, and I'm like the simple, plainest eater. So I was like, but then I tried it. I love stuffing. My tier 1, I did have pumpkin pie, but since we are in Hawaii, does chocolate jalapeno pie count as a Thanksgiving dish in Hawaii? Because chocolate jalapeno pie, Ted's Bakery chocolate jalapeno pie, is elite. Kallin, have you had that before?
I have. Super good. I'm going to say if you eat it on Thanksgiving, it should be counted in the tier top.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll count mine then. Okay. We do also have some quick hitters for you before we have to get out of here. Milan, for you, favorite memory playing softball?
Oh my gosh. Okay, there's so many, but I would have to go with winning the state championship again because it was just like an surreal moment for us, and our team that year was just like we battled after battle, and I think like overcoming adversity, and that year it just felt even better winning. And either that or club travel. That's always fun, like with the team. So yeah.
And Maycen, who's your funniest teammate? The one you're going to look to for a good laugh?
Definitely Millie Fidge, who's also one of my roommates. So whenever I need to laugh, I'll just kind of observe her for about 5 minutes, and I'm sure she'll do something that is going to make me laugh pretty good. So, yeah.
Shout out Millie. Milan, do you have a favorite softball player? If not, favorite athlete?
Okay, my favorite softball player is Jocelyn Allo. Shout out Jocelyn. She is absolutely amazing. I'm friends with her sisters, and we played club ball together, and they are just an amazing family, and I look up to her a lot. Like, she is truly a beast, and yeah, I want to be like her.
And Maycen, do you have any special Thanksgiving traditions, one that you look forward to every year, besides the food that you eat?
That's hard. A lot of it's wrapped around the food, but I'll say it's really small, but after every Thanksgiving dinner, my family goes for a walk. So we take all the dogs out, like everyone that's over. We'll go walk around the neighborhood, spend just a good 45 minutes spending some time together after eating all the great food that everyone cooked.
Milan, your favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
If you can't think of one, you can do a favorite movie genre.
Okay, I'm actually on a Fast and Furious kick, so I'm going to have to go Fast and Furious 5, the 5th one.
Did they just add that to Netflix, I believe?
Yes, the whole
right?
series.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm on Tokyo Drift right now, but I skipped and I watched number 5
I'm going to have to dive into that. Kallin.
And then for my last one, Maycen, we did talk about your favorite go-to game day meal, which was next up, but I'm going to have to ask your Canes order. What do you get when you come to Canes?
Definitely always the box combo. Yeah, that's always my go-to.
Just this, nothing special about it.
I guess I'll substitute the coleslaw for 2 pieces of toast. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Great order. Milan, for you, your Canes order?
Yeah, I would do the box combo too, but I would get extra fries instead of the coleslaw, instead of the toast.
Okay. Your Mount Rushmore of women athletes for you, Milan.
Mount Rushmore?
So that's four athletes. Your Mount Rushmore of athletes.
Okay, wait, what?
I would throw Serena Williams in there.
Probably. I like Naomi, the other tennis player. Osaka, yeah, she's really good. I'll probably have to go with the track and field, the USA track and field team, the whole women's.
Amazing.
And then, Jocelyn Allo.
There you go. Shout out to Jocelyn Allo. Okay, we are coming up on our out for the show. I just want to quickly say thank you again to Milan and Maycen for joining us on the show. Also, Jade and Ritorya for stopping by earlier. Thank you so much for everyone who has been listening in and for the people who joined us here at Raising Canes tonight. For Kallin Spiller, I'm Mausolf. We'll see you next time. This has been the Student Section on ESPN Honolulu.